Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming, welcome back to Path of Exile. My name is HotA and I'm a brand new player to Path of Exile. I've been playing Diablo 4 since its original betas as my first main ARPG, and now Season 2 is mostly finished, we decided I should check out PoE, a game that has been recommended to us in the channel so many times, especially as I've talked about my gripes with Diablo 4. So through this series I'm going to be doing lots of little comparisons between the two games as we go, but so far I have had a fantastic time. The game is just filled with so many smart features that it's almost overwhelming to learn about them all at once. I've now entered Act 2 and I've formed a build around bleed, playing my duelist class. We're focused on two-hand swords, we've got a way to deal bleed damage in single target and an AoE bleed arc version, and I just feel like I've learned so much, and yet there's so much more to learn. Today I'm planning to really sink my teeth in, really progress, and learn and apply a lot. A big thank you to the people in the comments of my second video providing literal paragraphs of advice and explanations. Today I'll be talking about some of the most important stuff that I read that's relevant to me right now. And I won't be able to call out and credit every person who gave me great advice, since we need to actually progress. But I want you guys to know that I've read through every damn comment on that video, and it took ages. I've made notes that I'll be referring to throughout my gameplay, and it's genuinely been hard because I don't let myself play until I'm able to record and actually have read the recent episode's comments. And it's been killing me, so I'm really ready to play today. I did sneak in like 10 minutes and did this hunting here with this hilarious character, who's sort of a hunter who has his own menagerie hidden away. And that's where we're starting the video today, so let's get started. Looking at the waypoint, it's kind of off to its own side, separate from the axe, so I guess I go here whenever. I'm not sure how important this is to the main story, we're going to dabble with it a little bit. He wants me to enter this arena here and use the blood altar, so we're going to give it a try. Summoning a specific captured beast we fought, and I can add in even more like these other ones that currently aren't used to try to craft it, which results in me fighting all of them at once. What the hell is this? Absolutely tiny arena as well. There's so much I want to talk about today, but I'm just immediately being thrown like a bunch of elites. But let's just keep shielding myself, keep applying the bleed, keep kiting around, and we should be fine. So check this out. By swapping my stance, I'm able to change the AoE radius of lacerate. And you can see how when I'm in my blood stance, it's a sort of red bleed chance effect. And then when I go to my sand stance, it's more AoE like that. So we're going to be playing around with that today. This dude's so weird, but he's got quite a good humor. So I want to capture more beasts and perform rituals whenever I find them, sure. Alright, so to begin with today's topics, I've come to the riverways here. We're going to make our way through the area and just do some of the main quests and progress whatever happens. Something I'd like to ask to begin with is the fact that I'm on a standard account. I'm wondering whether I've kind of messed up a little bit. There's this new season that's just dropped called Affliction, I believe, and I suppose I'm not on that seasonal realm that maybe I could be. Basically, my question is, am I messing up by ignoring the new season, this Affliction thing? Would it be a good idea for me to remake a character on the new seasonal realm? I just don't want to miss out on, cool new stuff. Check this out. So what you can do to track your quests, as I didn't understand, is actually open the world log or whatever. And then these buttons down here show me what quests I'm currently on. So it shows me where I'm going to go. In this case, I'm going to need to go to, I guess, these different locations. On this one, I'm in the right area in the Western Forest. On this one, I'd want to go there. And I can see what I've done with Einar. These are currently complete. So I don't need to worry about him for now, I guess. Okay, the enemies in this area are crazy. I can't tell which ones are the ones that are doing it. Martyrs. A bunch of them are kind of running up and blowing up on them, and they just killed me, which was terrifying. I thought maybe I'd really messed up and I'm really under-geared or something, or even under-leveled, but then I realized, yep, there they are, look, martyrs. They just look like normal dudes, but they're going to run up and try and blow up on me. That's absolutely devilish. So, to kick things off today, I definitely need to make a quick change to the way that my abilities work. Something that I'm doing constantly is I now have a defensive, Molten Shell, providing me with a buff that gives me a kind of shield, as it were. I want this active as much as possible, and so a lot of people in the comments were saying, you want to automate that ability, which means you want to put it on something that's happening constantly, such as moving. The question is for me, how do I make Mortal Shell also a move-tied ability? Because if I put it there, it's now Mortal Shell and not move. Oh, okay, it's fine, because it's just an ability that's not targeting anything. As I left click to move, just gonna do it anyway, so it's literally that easy. Okay, well now that's a dead slot, but maybe something for me to consider. So now that's just gonna be going off all the time, and I no longer have to constantly worry about it. That's a great tip, thank you guys. Oh, Jeweler's Orb. I just did one of these chest things here and a bunch of loot has dropped. I've learned a lot from the comments as we're going to talk about as we go through this episode, but what I'm looking for specifically is 3 colors on one item, but they all need to be linked. So we're getting pretty close here with 2 colors and some links, but we need all 3. Here we go, we're at my quest here. I've come here to kill some strange soldiers that are kind of causing an issue. We've killed the AoE, we've killed them in AoE using the kind of sand version, right, of Lacerate. So I'm going to swap to Blood Stance, and then I'm also just going to kind of focus on the single target puncture, which should stack up lots of bleeds, put the totem down, shield up, and just smash him. And watch as that bleed just finishes him. Pretty cool. Oh, there's that first 3-slot item. Red, blue, and green, but it's missing a slot. Damn, we got the item for the quest. Awesome. And there's another quest over here, the seal itself. Oh, okay, so I opened that. Now I can go back for my reward. But there's something down here as well leading to, oh, the prisoner's gate, the next area. Maybe I should go in here and get the waypoint. Oh, this was the blocked pass where the sigil got activated by that NPC. I just came to the other side and opened it. So now I have the shortcut from Act 1 to 2 if I wanted to. Oh, and it was one of the quests that gives a book of skill. This is something I want to talk about today. I learned from some beginner videos that these book of skills are really important, and there's different side quests that give you them. So they're going to progress my power pretty quick if I hunted them down specifically. Obviously, I'm no pro. I don't know which specific side quests to do to get these, but it's good to know that I found one randomly, and we can use that immediately and get myself another skill point, which brings me to Bloodletting. Increased damage over time multiplier for bleeding, 40% increased attack damage against bleeding enemies. So I'm actually pretty happy with the combo I've got here. This is going to be a big topic that we're going to talk about now. Puncture versus Lacerate. Should I be using both? I was kind of dabbling in it last time. I've got a conclusion. Puncture is my guaranteed way to cause bleed, but Lacerate only causes bleed maybe when I'm in Blood Stance, and I'm playing in Sand Stance now for AoE clearing. So if I need to guarantee get a bleed to get extra damage on any specific target like an elite or something, I'll puncture them first and then worry about lacerating. Something that's just so interesting in this game is the fact that there is no currency. As I sell an item, I'm going to get like a scroll fragment back instead of, I don't know, gold or something. Because I've been afraid to use these items, I've kind of been stacking them up in my stash. And it turns out these are indeed your currency, and the higher quality stuff that does more impactful things, these are worth more. And even further than that, there's weird details like, let's say I try and sell this iron circlet when it's unidentified. I'll get 5 transmutation shards. Let's instead actually identify it. So now we see it's the Beast Halo, and as I go to sell it, it's now worth 7 alteration shards instead. Apparently, I should be selling some things without identifying them. I think that's blues maybe. And clearly some other items I'm going to want to identify before I sell them, like this copper sword. So the Golem Spiker, as it turns out, yeah, that's so much more. Most important though is an item that's 3 different colors and linked fully, which this just barely isn't. Apparently this leads to chromatic orbs, which are going to be really important for me while I'm leveling. It was commenter Kuruyami who explained this to me in the comments. I'm going to want lots of chromatics because they'll change socket colors. This brings us to my current gear setup, which is jank as hell, and we need to fix this today. The big question I had was, should I keep, say, yellow items with all these different stats on them, or should I be finding new items in Act 2 that are blue, like lower quality, but actually better because higher eye level? A lot of that was explained to me. They might have better stats, but what matters to me most, according to the comments en masse, is gem sockets, of which right now I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, I have too little. We want a bare minimum of 3 on every slot that I can find right now. And based on the advice, the chest piece is probably going to be where I want my main damage button, of which I currently have 2, and we need to decide which one we're going to focus. So my goal today is to get more slots on all of my gear. Here we go. Okay, deal with the bandits. Eramir wants you to kill Illyria, and I've just met her. But she's actually speaking to me instead of just being an enemy that I'm fighting. Okay, interesting. So we actually have like a relevant choice here. She's saying, go kill the other 2 tribe leaders and work with me, and I'll give you a specific reward. I think I should look up what the other rewards are first. Based on my Googling, there's someone called Kraton who gives you increased attack, which I think is the basis of all my damage, and then also movement speed, which is nice too. Or if you kill all of them, you get 2 passive points, which isn't bad. But I think I'll go for this Kraton guy, which means I'm not going to help her. While we're on the way, let's talk about the building situation right now. I've got this kind of interesting setup. Oh, we got a little elite here. I'm going to apply the bleed really hard to him and just smash him. Cool. Basically, See, I'm currently kind of in an awkward place right now where I'm using two things when I should apparently be using one. I'm using Puncture to generate guaranteed bleed, and that stacks up really well for a single target, but the issue with that is it's not very good when we consider mob clearing, which is seemingly the majority of the game right now, and I think it's only going to be more so the case. As we've started swapping with our actual stance, which, God, I'm so glad I made that pick. It's been amazing. I'm actually using sand stance way more. So I go into blood, I'm spreading my blood attacks, right? Maybe generating a bleed, but maybe not. It's pretty low chances each time I use it. And then I'm doing a bigger AoE when I'm in the sand stance. So Puncture is still going to be useful to me to guarantee generate bleed, especially since I'm getting lots of perks from that now in the skill tree, but it feels like Lacerate is actually going to do a lot more for me in the mob clear. So based on what a lot of you have been saying in the comments, Lacerate might be the better pick. I've gone for the bleed chance that allows me to have more chance to actually cause the bleed with Lacerate, since it's not 100%, and I'm dealing more damage against enemies that are currently bleeding. So it's very important that I still use Puncture, especially against a proper single target or an elite that has more health, but we're going to go for a Lacerate and enhance that as much as I can. This is important because understanding how bleed works is something I didn't clearly get properly. Cruelless Clueless in the comments explained that bleeds don't stack up like a bunch at once normally. Normally it's a single bleed that's dealing damage over time, and then the next bleed that I've stacked up ready to go once that's done, the next strongest one, then that will begin. That seems to be the case until you get Crimson Dance. This reduces the effectiveness of the bleed, it seems, to 50% of its original damage, but then lets it actually begin stacking in true. So at 8 stacks of the same bleed, that'd be 4 times the normal damage, which is exactly what I needed to hear. Spamming my Puncture on a single target up to 8 times would be ideal in that case, but spamming bleeds on a target before you have this, not so strong. It would be nice if there was some kind of UI thing that let me know, hey, that guy's bleeding, this is how much it's doing, here's the ones that are waiting or are currently all active at the same time. You know, visually that would be helpful. But it does seem like I'm on the right track in terms of forming this build with auras and buffs that are going to help me. While we're on the way to that, I'm also hunting down the Great White Beast as we go, and I wanted to acknowledge that I've actually powered up the War Banner a few times now, so whenever I come across some sort of strong elite, I'm actually dropping the War Banner intentionally, and it gives me this sort of 3-second buff where I'm juiced up. Here we go, look, so I'll drop this, drop the War Banner, and go really hard on it, specifically using Puncture to stack up the bleeds as fast as I can for single targets specifically. That feels so good. I just have to put the banner back on and start stacking it up once I use that 3-second buff. There was also a great comment that came from Squire Ballo with loads of good information, but I'm just going to focus on a few things that are relevant to me now. Squire did mention the fact that I'm not going for defensive nodes that much so far, like life and armor and so on, and recommends I really start going for that, so I'm also going to grab some of that now. Let's pick up bravery and the 2 life nodes around it. This feels like a no-brainer. In the same comment, they also referenced the fact that physical damage on my weapon is really, really important, and something I'm going to be looking for when I'm upgrading my weapons or finding a better weapon in general. Since now I know that I can take, say, a white or grey item, whatever you want to call it, and still upgrade that to higher quality. In fact, I have some items for that right now. I just need to find one with good slots, good physical damage, and then we can go from there. Oh, here we go. Here's the White Beast. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're spreading bleed on it. So I'm going to swap my Lacerate to a bleed real quick, and we're going to stack that up hopefully pretty quick. I'm going to jump and drop the totem. We're going to start spamming Puncture to spread some bleed, drop the actual... Oh, that was quick. I was going to say drop the banner to juice up, and then I'm going to start stacking up the bleeds as fast as possible. I've got to work out what the best way for me to get to the 8-stack bleed is going to be. I feel like Puncture's too slow. It's a guaranteed bleed, so I can at least rely on that. But maybe I should be spamming a bleed version of Lacerate to get to 8 stacks quicker, since the Lacerate fires twice, and we can definitely make it have a higher chance of causing bleeding. Then I'll swap for AoE whenever I need to. Here's a cool tip. Apparently if I take an iron ring and put it with, say, a blue, green, or red gem, I'll turn that iron ring into something else. So instead of just a normal iron ring, it gives me cold resistance. And resistances are going to be really important later in the game as I get into harder X. So knowing I can make things like that is really cool. Wow, what a selection of things, and actual flash as well. Life's great, mana's fine, but we want something relevant to sort of utility. Movement speed, so we already have one of those. Element resistance, we don't have one of those, so I'm definitely going to take that. This gives me a cool opportunity to improve my healing thing. It has no actual effects on it, so let's take an Orb of Chance and turn it from something that's got nothing to it into some sort of rare random effect. We turned it into a blue, sadly, but still now it's actually got some effects to it. Oh my god, look at that white sword. 21 to 40 damage, and it's got 3 slots. They're all red, which isn't necessarily ideal, but hell, that's a 3-socket weapon like we've been looking for, and it's got even more raw damage. So we're definitely going to take that back and maybe upgrade it and start using it. So we're going to take this weapon and use this Whispering Essence of Greed. Should give it physical attack damage, leeches life, so lifesteal. Let's see if this works. So I click on it, yeah. So it's become a yellow. Oh, extra strength and dexterity adds physical damage. That was actually such a good choice. Physical damage 27 to 55 now. And it's a 3-slot instead of just 2, so that's a major improvement there. And we've also gone back to Act 1 to go speak with Nessa, so that I can go ahead and buy a gem that will actually enhance the power of Leap Slam, since we have that empty slot. For now, let's grab this life gain on hit support, which will help keep me alive, and it works on Leap Slam, so this should actually enhance Leap Slam to give me a little bit of lifesteal, which is pretty cool. Hey, I've finally found the Kraton guy. So based on that Google, he should provide me with the thing that's most relevant to me. 6% increased attack and cast speed. I don't know if that's attack speed, but that is good for me. Avoid element ailments is good, and the movement speed. I think this is what I'm going to go for. So I'm going to go back and kill the other 2, and then come back to him. And while we're here in the area, let's get this last beast. So let's turn on my bleed mode. Let's go ahead and put that down to juice myself up, guarantee bleed it, and then just kite it with spam attacks. Looks like that's enough. It's CC'd and he's grabbing it. Awesome. Man, things die so fast right now. And I've just realized I found a helmet that is 2 greens and 1 red. So I can get faster attack support and increased chance to bleed on Lacerate right now if I put it on the helmet instead of the chest piece like I was planning. Let's start by identifying the helmet and revealing what it is. Strength, max life, lightning resistance, increased stun, block recovery. 2 of those are relevant to me then. 40 armor though, that's really good, and there's none on this. Going back into my stash, let's go pick up the chance to bleed support and finally put it there. So now Lacerate's got that extra chance to bleed, an extra 25% chance, and more damage to enemies that are bleeding. So I'll probably be in sand stance a lot less. I'll probably be back in blood stance most of the time now. As I came to hunt the bandit in this area, we found another like rare red level beast, so I'm pretty scared of this one. Last one was really dangerous, so we're just going to sort of use Einar as best we can and stack up bleeds as much as I can, and then I'm just going to go ham and see if I can trade with it on my next shield. So put the war banner down and absolutely spam out my attacks as fast as I can, and now I'm getting hit, so we're going to kite, give myself some element resistance with a potion, by the way. I don't know whether it's using elements, but yeah, I feel like it is. It's very watery. Start generating another war banner, keep kiting and generating bleed on it best I can. I'm in blood stance so that I'm generating bleed and sort of kiting, and there we go, the bleed got it, and it dropped the first. Finally, I've actually seen one. We've been looking for this basically the entire time I've been playing. It is an item that has a triple link of all 3 colors. Let's go. Let's have a look. It gives me a chromatic orb, reforging the color of sockets on an item. That is so valuable. If only it wasn't so RNG, the actual recoloring. So first bandit I'm going to betray is going to be this one. Put the totem down, jump down, get the shield on, and then we're going to start absolutely spamming over the range bleed of our actual Lacerate. Good thing she's swapping to the totem now and then, and she's just absolutely burning from the bleed. Perfect. Feels like my single target isn't the strongest right now, but I'm sure we'll work this out. Ooh, check this out. We got a golden strongbox, unidentified. As someone said in the comments, apparently you can actually take a scroll of wisdom and identify these to find out what's going to happen and maybe even what it's worth. So right click it and put it on. 1 magic item, 1 rare item, random hex, curse, spreads caustic ground. Okay, let's give it a try. Spawns in a bunch of enemies, some sort of cursed ground somewhere they're going to watch out for. Let's put the totem down and just kite and clear this up. No problem at all. Very easy enemies. And so we got, ooh, an armor scrap. Go height boots, which are not only a triple link and triple color, but also a yellow. Awesome. Nice that we're actually starting to see these triple links. All right, we're at the next bandit camp. Time to betray Oak, which is a shame. He's got a nice name. Seems like a nice guy based purely on his name. We're going to kite him real quick. Oh, he's like a jumping dude. We'll take a potion for element resist. We're getting ready to actually go ham on him. Apply the guarantee bleed with puncture. Put the totem down and the banner and just go ham. Watch the bleed stack up. There we go. Kite away for a second, let the bleed do its work while he jumps about, and then finish him off. Awesome. Yeah, man, that single target, it's not feeling that strong compared to the previous setup I had, but my mob clear is so much better, so that's where mostly it matters. But back to Creighton to let him know what I've done. What a nice guy. He's like, oh man, you're actually strong as hell. Here you go. Here's the Apex. What the? The Apex. Though its power has been shared, there is still more the Apex might unlock. Interesting. But do I have that new passive then? I better save that either way. Next up then, we have a quest to do with the Chamber of Sins, which is very ominous. And this is where something very important I should reference is coming up again, I'm sure. Seems like a big dungeon. There's these Lord's Labyrinth that we talked about in one of the first episodes. They have these Trials of Ascendancy that I now realize what this is. There's some kind of extra level to skill passives and upgrades and stuff that you unlock by doing these, and I'll find them in each act, it would seem. So probably somewhere in here I'm going to find the next labyrinth that I need to complete. Alright, next on the skill tree, I've found it. Brinksmanship. Melee skills have 20% increased area of effect. We absolutely want that, so we're going to go that way and work towards that. And it has attack mastery there too, and improved melee damage stuff. That is a really good circle. Hey, we've got the final beast in this area. This is the big red one, so it should be really strong, so let's take it seriously. Put the totem down, banner down, and then absolutely spam my attacks on it while I've got the crazy attack speed. Banner back on, let's jump away, try to dash away, give myself some space. I don't have that much range, but yeah. Okay, next banner is going. It's pretty low at this point. Let's finish it off. And captured. Awesome. Then we'll just kite out the last ones. Awesome. Mission complete. Look at the amount of yellows there. How am I going to carry all that? Ugh, what the hell is that? It's like a scorpion man thing. Phidias the Morning. It's for the quest that we're here. We got to kill it. Save some person called Helena. Well, that was really easy. It's so much weaker than the minions that we just fought. Got a strange device we can interact with to get a baleful gem. Take the gem to a village by the river. I'll meet you there. Okay, sure. I trust you, random person. So we've done the mission in this area, but I haven't found the actual trial. So we still got to do that. So I'm going to meet her in the Dread Thicket for a hideout. To earn a personal hideout, complete the quest safe and sound. We're finally there. I think I'm about to actually get my own base. But first, let's go do that labyrinth thing. I found it, the Trial of Ascendancy. I just opened a door and here it is. It's another one of these puzzles where I have to kind of make my way through without getting hit by the traps. Einar clearly doesn't care about the traps at all. So what do? Follow this all the way? Is it going to? Yeah, it's going to come back. So I got to let it come by me. Then we run past it, no problem. Follow this along, jump between these two, no problem. Follow this, swap between these two, awesome. Got some more enemies and elite. And with that, we've made it through. We got to touch this plaque at the end. There we go. Oh, I see. I've got 2 done. So we've got Act 1 complete and Act 2 complete, and then these unknown areas. I guess that would be Act 3. Weird that it's in the middle rather than in order. But there you go. I am doing them. Ooh, that quest where I just killed the Weaver boss. It's unlocked a bunch of new support options. Supported skills deal 31% more physical damage, and even more damage from bleeding and poison melee hits. But less attack speed. That sucks. Let's see how it feels by taking out the one that I'm currently using and just seeing how it works with Lacerate. Alright, I've made my way through that dungeon and I found an ancient seal. I guess I used, yeah, I did. I used that horrible orb to do this. Not sure if this is the safest thing. I feel like I've just unearthed some sort of horror. But we made it to the Northern Forest, so who cares, right? Oh, there's definitely something weird going on my map right now. I feel like I've been tricked. But I've made it to the Dread Thicket, which is where I'm supposed to be finding a hideout. The idea is that we're hiding somewhere where her former allies won't find her. So I guess it's got to be really hidden where no one's going to go looking. But this just doesn't feel right. I think I've found it. We've got some tents here. We've got an icon on my screen. The Lush Hideout. Okay, this is a lot nicer than I was expecting, although it's still kind of purpley poisony. Can you clear it of anything dangerous? So we're going to clear out the area for the hideout, sure. There we go, all cleared out. Create hideout. I'll get set up. What is this? Export, import. We got decorations. Oh, it's like actual base building. And we have a waypoint so we can come here whenever we like. It's on the separate from the map. Try enhancing a piece of equipment and see what happens. Crafting bench. She'll also buy my stuff. That's fantastic. We have a stash here, which is going to make my life so much easier. And we have an actual crafting bench. This is exciting, and it requires specifically resources that I've been gathering from making all of these trades you've been telling me to do. So she wants me to enhance an item. So I guess I take my sword and put it in there. So I don't know, I'll give it fire resistance. Why not? So now it's got, oh, it's different color, extra fire resistance. Wow, that's how you get specific mods that you need. But just like that, we have a hideout, our own personal base, we have a stash and crafting. And obviously we're going to be able to do a lot more. I guess this is just kind of like the hub for the game. To end the video, I'd like to credit Sosh Spot Games, who left an absolute wall of great advice and information, and I just wanted to let them know that I saw their comment and read through it. Sosh was recommending I lean into lacerate over puncture, and that is what I ended up doing today. Obviously I've tried my own ideas today, like this melee physical damage support, but now we actually have a lot more slots to work with than we started with, and a real focus and aim for the build. In terms of where I'm working to right now, we're about to get Brinkmanship, so melee skills are going to have greater AoE, which is exactly what I need for a lacerate. My only question to end this video then is, if I wanted to respec or rework my character later, say when bleed falls off, as many people have said will happen, will it be okay to respec and redo my setup, or is it better to make a new character? But as always, a massive thank you to the many comments providing awesome, relevant advice to me right now. It's been making my experience a lot better. If you guys want to keep seeing me learn the game, then please drop a like on the video so they do well enough that I can keep making them. For now though, I've been Hollow, you've been you, thanks for joining me on this adventure, and I'll see you next time.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.